Hi guys, welcome to our sort of Valentine's Day vlog special. We're here with Jess Smith! Ah!
The crowd goes wild.
Yeah! And I'm Kevin. No one goes wild. So yeah, this vlog is to chat about the idea of love poems.
Yeah.
Because it's Valentine's Day.
Duh.
You have love, and so we invited Jess because you have love poems, right? You're a
Yeah.
person filled with love. I get accused of it all the time of having far too many love poems.
I love writing love poems though. It's a lot of fun.
Why do you think you write so many love poems?
I think it's really interesting to try to capture like one aspect of a person. And so I don't think that you can just write a poem and capture everything about a person in it, especially if you have like one person in mind. You can't like put an entire person into a poem. But I think what I love most about writing love poems is that you get to think about one aspect of a person or one memory that you have with a person, and you get to fully flesh that out in, I don't know, in a beautiful way. And I think that's like why I write love poems. Like a cool.
That's pretty nice. Because I think it's a weird thing because some people write love poems. I think that's a really genuine, nice way to write a love poem. Oh, there's so much to say about a person, and so I'll explore it all that way. Whereas I think it's because it's an easier story to tell. I think love is a really easy concept for everyone to get. Everyone loves someone. So you can do things about like issue based, you can talk about, sexuality or gender or race, or all these things don't necessarily affect everyone, but everyone loves someone. So it's the kind of easiest way to tell a story. Like I think a really good example of it is Freddie Alexander with Comic Book Love.
Oh yeah.
Because that poem is not a love poem. It's a comic book reference poem, and the easiest way to tell that story is to make it a love poem because everyone can just they understand that story right away. Boy, I'm gonna love you like comic books. And so then it just goes, but everyone understands what they mean, and it's a really easy path. I did the same thing with a poem I did called Money, which I did for a play. And it was, so it had to be, they wanted to be, the theme was money they gave me. And I just wrote essentially a love poem, but all the metaphors for it were puns. Money puns. Yeah. And so I made it a love poem because that was the kind of easiest base story to tell.
Yeah.
Which is quite a callous way to look at it, I suppose.
No, I mean, actually now that you say that out loud, it's like, yeah, that's also another way. I guess I don't write love poems with like other messages though. When I write love poems, it's like boys.
I mean, I do have ones like that. The thing I find so interesting about love poems is everyone goes, okay, so I know I'm gonna do a love poem, and everyone writes too many love poems, but this is like an anti-love poem. Every love poem ever written should have that as the description. No one does like, I'm so in love, and that makes me so happy, and I'm with that person, and we're just together being nice, and it's a good life.
Yeah.
Like, I think love poems are some of the saddest poetry we have.
Yeah, I was about to say the most common love poem that I do is my, so there's this boy, and he's too good for me. And it's actually
the second line is, and he's too good for me.
It's true, but it's also it's kind of the story about, like a really depressed boy who has a problem with self-harm, but it tells his story by looking at him through different lenses and how I personally perceive him and how I perceive his problems. But it's much more a story about his life and like his struggles rather than like, I'm so in love with a boy.
But then you kind of have to look at him through your own lens, because if you're writing about someone that you're not, then it's the kind of easiest way to look at it, I suppose. Yeah. That makes sense. I think it's kind of become the big misconception in the scene that especially the more I kind of gig in Glasgow, I get the impression that Edinburgh and Glasgow have very different views on love poetry. Like Kevin Gilday, he has his poem I've fallen out of love with poetry, in which like he just rags on everyone that writes love poetry.
Right.
It's shit. If you're in a slam with Gilday and you do a love poem and he comes up after you, just kill him. But I think it's that idea of the sort of more artsy-fartsy Edinburgh studenty scene going, oh, I'm so in love, when actually it's not. It's a really good way to look at sort of big feelings and big subjects like that, to analyse someone else, but to give it a kind of easier story for people to follow. Yeah.
It was a weirdly profound observation of yours, like that everyone can, empathize with love.
I'm profound. Profound person. I know
sorry.
stuff.
Okay, in the middle of like a interview thing for Valentine's Day, I didn't expect like
smart.
Oh no, my life view has suddenly changed. I'm sorry.
So what's your favorite love poem that someone else does, either from the scene or from like YouTube and stuff?
No, I'm just thinking about lots of poems that I've seen on the internet, but I can't think of any. Wait, what's your favorite love poem? I don't think.
Probably, and it's probably the closest to being I'm happy in love, but there's still a nugget of that kind of sadness, which I seem to always see, and it's Andrea Gibson, I Do. Have you heard it? It's beautiful, and it's about her wanting to be able to access her girlfriend if she dies. You know, like if she's dying in hospital and she can't get the right to go and see her. And it's all about that idea of, so they want marriage. It's about marriage equality and stuff. And it's beautiful. The whole poem, the sort of middle section is really beautiful because it's about all these memories. She does it sort of past tense, so she's talking about memories they shared, but she's pushing forward to 50 years in the future. And so that's really nice because it's all these beautiful things they'll see and do together. But then the nugget at the end is, at the time, certainly, she didn't have that right and she can't. It's heartbreaking. And I think that's the funny thing about most of those love poems, the ones I sort of really like. Like, I have poems I've written about specific people. I've never written a poem about anyone I'm with.
Me neither. I've never written a love poem for anyone I was dating. And almost every love poem I've ever written is actually just an amalgamation of lots of different feelings that I've had for lots of different people.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah.
Because people read in, that's the thing. If you do love poems, because I think you're the same as me, I never like name anyone.
Yeah, oh no.
Because I think that'd be super weird. Or even hint too much at who someone is.
Oh,
but like I've got a poem where I go like, I want to swim in your eyes, not because they're blue, because they have unexplored depths, and I want to dive to the bottom of you. And everyone's gone, I know who that is, because I have a friend with blue eyes, and they've gone, I know it's that person. And you're like, maybe I said blue eyes because the water was kind of nice.
Yeah.
I get the amalgamation thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, come on, favorite love poem.
Okay, so I came up with one. This is one of my favorites. It's Callum O'Dwyer's, I don't know what it's called, but it's like, oh man, I love running my fingers through your thick brown hair and stuff. And he's talking about all these different things that he loves to do, and it turns out that he's looking in a mirror and he's talking about how much he loves himself. But
if you're looking for more Callum O'Dwyer, his poem Bones is available on the YouTube channel.
Don't be weird about it. No, I love Callum. I love his poetry.
He's fucking ace. Yeah,
he's really amazing. But I think it's a really cool way to tackle like this feeling that if you're listening to poetry, you've probably felt before. This kind of like I'm not good enough or self-loathing or whatever that is, and it's this idea of being able to look at yourself and say, I am happy with who I am. To make it a love poem, to make it something that is relatable to everyone. And I don't know. It's just an interesting medium. So do you think there's too much? Do you think there's too many love poems? Do you think people should be writing about different things? Or do you think it's an understanding issue with people maybe looking at love poems on a too surface level? I'm a privileged white girl who absolutely loves love poems. So no, I'm going to say that people should keep writing them. But I think they should keep writing them and use it to tackle issues. I don't think it should just be like, yeah, I'm so in love, boys. I think it should move beyond that. I think it's funny what you say though, because this is probably going to be a subject of a different vlog. But that idea of going, oh, I'm a privileged white girl. I'm a straight white dude. Like my remit for social justice poems is not great. Yeah. So I think there's a thing of going, but I can write about that. I understand about that, and I'm allowed to have a voice on that type thing. That's like a bigger subject for a different video. But I think there is that kind of thing to, especially when you start. I wrote way more love poems when I started than I do now. Yeah, it's an easy way to get into it because again, everyone's felt that way, and everyone kind of wants to talk about it. Yeah, everyone wants to talk about the first time that they fell in love, or how it's annoying that their love isn't reciprocated, or. So are you going to be writing any love poems for Valentine's Day then? I'm alone, so why not? You guys have got Soapbox, right? You're doing like a Valentine's Day. You normally do like a little theme thing. I remember, speaking of Callum O'Dwyer, he put his phone number up. I did that, and then I did that the year after, and I got texts for like 2 weeks afterwards. It was a terrible idea. So it's Soapbox. They've decided to do this thing. The host of the Valentine's Day special just gives their number on a piece of card, and you can text them Valentine's Day messages. What we should do, I'm going to get Perry to put your phone number here. And so everyone can send you messages on Valentine's Day. And then you won't have to write love poems. You'll be loved. No. Creepy people being like, I like your face. So yeah, when's next Soapbox?
Remember, this is the Valentine's Day one.
The
No, she doesn't know her dates!
day in February closest to Valentine's Day.
But they can find you on
I
Facebook
want to
and
say
stuff, right?
the 11th, but I might be totally wrong.
But they can find you on Facebook and
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
if you're feeling lonely and you want to come see some love poems.
Soapbox Edinburgh and at... And no, I don't even know our Twitter handle. I'm literally the worst.
You know what? Perry can fill them in here.
Okay, awesome. Here is our information to find out more about Soapbox. But I love Soapbox because anyone can perform and it doesn't have to be on theme. But like, it's cool if it is.
So come down and do some love poems.
Come down and do some love poems. That'd be so much fun.
Awesome. Thanks for coming in, Jess.
Thanks for talking to me, Kev.